Yes, welcome to learn more about Explore, our all in-person traveling the state program. And I will hand it over to Jen Gastelum, who is our program manager and helped build the program last year, to tell you more about it.
All right, so you all are here to talk about Explore. Thank you for being here. Welcome. We are an overview for today. Like I said, we're here to primarily talk about Explore, but to give you an idea of where we're headed, we're going to first focus on an overview of Valley leadership, the work that we've been doing to revamp our programming over the past few years. Then we'll review the goals and logistics of Explore to ensure you all have a solid idea of what the commitment is for the experience. And then finally, we'll jump into a Q&A. Also, we're going to sneak right there in the middle with some alumni of Explore from the first year who will share out about their experience. All right. So as an organization, our mission is clear. We're working to bring a broad spectrum of Arizonans together to work in collaboration as leaders to impact Arizona's most pressing issues. And our staff includes Dave, as you all know, our CEO, Paige, our marketing director, who's here, Natalka, who's not with us today, but is our programming assistant for strategic learning, and me, I'm Jen Gastelum, and I design and run the Explore program. So our mission is directly linked to the core belief that leadership is action. It's not a job title or a position to hold. Instead, we believe leadership is something that all of us can choose to practice. And practicing leadership looks like living out our principles of doing that you see here. As VL alumni, many of you have likely been exposed to the principles of doing before now, especially those of you in Catalyze. Throughout all the programs, we always come back to the principles of being driven to do, putting Arizona first, building trust, operating with a team mindset, and practicing integrity, as this is what truly forms the backbone of all of our programs. Now, over the past 4 years, Valley Leadership has evolved its programs to better align to the mission of the principles of doing, and that evolution has brought us to today, where we've taken all the best parts of our past programming and built upon them to create a new suite of programs that we believe has the potential to really move our organization forward and Arizona forward. That new program suite includes 3 different experiences, including Explore, which you're here for today. For anyone who isn't already an alumnus, their VL journey now starts with Catalyze, aimed at equipping participants with what they need to begin, enhance, or alter their path of getting things done for Arizona. Some of you may be in our current cohort. I think that at least one person is, right? Yep. And alumni can continue their journey of doing for Arizona by taking part in Impact Maker, a place where our alumni come together to move the work forward to the most pressing issues of Arizona. And finally, you can join the program we're focusing on today, Explore, where you can join a small cohort of alumni to travel around our state and deepen your understanding of how the issues show up throughout Arizona. So what is Explore? Explore takes people out of their community and their comfort zone to get to know the great diversity of the state and how our most pressing issues show up in rural, urban, suburban, and Native communities. Participants will expand their perspective, knowledge of the issues, and have the time and space to forge strong relationships and build connections in all corners of the state. We do this by actually visiting different parts of the state. The Explore program is made up of 6 sessions, exploring 4 distinct parts of Arizona: rural Arizona, Arizona as a border state, urban and suburban Arizona, and Arizona on the reservation, and will be bookended by a prep session and a reflection session. Each session is thoughtfully designed to highlight the assets and opportunities of these communities and is identified by the people who live and work there. So let's look a little bit deeper. Explore will start with a full day of connection, building, and preparation, focusing on ensuring that we have all the tools that we need to get the most out of experiencing the places that we will visit. After a deep dive into our principles of doing and the overarching goals of Explore, we will be ready to set out on our first overnight in Yuma, where we will learn about the thriving agriculture industry, the community's focus on education, and how larger issues in Arizona like immigration and water show up for people living and working in Yuma. Next, we will head to Nogales, where we will experience life on the border, and we will learn from local community members about programs that create a rich and supportive space for residents and entrepreneurs, and gain a deeper understanding of the challenges and opportunities on the border itself. The third experience will take an urban suburban lens. This will be a 3-day experience with no overnight requirements. We're excited to add South Phoenix to the schedule this year, giving some insight into the unique experience and history of this community. We will also be visiting downtown Mesa and spend a day together in Buckeye, which will allow us to dig deeper into what rapid growth looks like for a community just outside of Phoenix. The last place we will visit will be Navajo Nation. And most of you know that Navajo Nation is the largest designated tribal land in the country, covering 27,000 square miles in Arizona and parts of New Mexico and Utah. The journey will include 2 overnight stays and cover a large loop that will allow us to gain a unique understanding of life on tribal land, learning from Apache, Navajo, and Hopi tribal members, and focusing on food sovereignty, entrepreneurship, and economic and community efforts. On our final day, we'll have the opportunity to come together and reflect on how these experiences contribute to a larger understanding of what it means to be an Arizonan. We will spend the time discussing how our work might be impacted by the new connections and knowledge and experiences of WEXPLORE, and begin to identify how this might bridge our communities together and contribute to the work that can be done through Valley Leadership's Impact Maker. Now let's take a look at the logistics. The overnight commitments and days off of work vary throughout the program, but the dates have been intentionally chosen to avoid holidays and other potential scheduling conflicts. We've also ensured that there's sufficient time in between the big overnight experiences so that they minimally interfere with your family and work life. All told, the entire program experience spans about 3 months. The overall commitment for WEXPLORE includes 4 overnights and requires 6 Saturdays, 4 Fridays, and 2 Thursdays off of work. Traveling to each location will vary. The 2-night experience in Navajo Nation will include travel accommodations. For the other locations, we will support you in connecting with your fellow cohort members to carpool, which you will be responsible for your own accommodations for Nogales, South Phoenix, Mesa, and Buckeye. Travel accommodations, all the hotel accommodations, snacks, most meals, those are all included as part of the program. So what will we learn? Each location will offer a place-based experience driven by the formal and informal leaders within those communities, getting insight into the culture, economy, and community assets of a place. The topics that are covered have been identified by the leaders that we're learning from, but all can be tied back to the Vitalist Healthy Community Wheel and VL's principles of doing. This looks like hearing from many different voices, understanding the culture, and staying in and contributing to the community and the local economy. Participants can expect to learn from local leaders, participate in tours of community programs and organizations, engage in hands-on experiences, and join in social opportunities throughout your travels. So our biggest goal with WEXPLORE is to provide the space and experience for participants to broaden their perspective and gain a better understanding of the state of Arizona as a whole. At the end of the experience, Yuma won't just be a stop on your way to California. It will hold a special place in your heart because of the connections that you've created in the community there. Therefore, in addition to the mindset that we reinforce and catalyze, adaptability, equity, and interconnectedness, WEXPLORE takes you a step further with an experiential, asset-based, place-based, and community-led program that shifts how you see Arizona and what it means to be a resident in our state, no matter where you are. We feel that creating a program led by the community who live and work in the places that we visit, that focuses on the assets of that place and is interactive and experiential, will help us to accomplish the goals. So what makes Explore different from our other programs? Aside from the obvious difference, traveling around Arizona to visit communities outside of Maricopa, Explore presents an opportunity to deeply connect with a smaller cohort of participants with a shared interest in broadening their understanding and connection throughout the state. You'll also have time to reflect on your personal values and how your beliefs align with your actions as we explore Arizona. We'll refine our value statement, make them our well-crafted superpower for making an impact on the work that we do. So at this point, you may be wondering about the cost for Explore, and because we want to make sure that the cost is never a barrier to participation, we've created a sliding scale. The program cost ranges from $500 to $2,350, depending on income level. And those income levels differ based on whether someone belongs to a single household income or a single income or a household with multiple incomes. If your company is sponsoring your participation, we just have a flat rate of $3,000. And the scholarships and wage replacement are available. You can make that request as part of your application. So the application, it's completely online. It's comprised of 7 short answer questions, and the application deadline is December 2nd. At that point, the VL staff and board will review applicants, and you can expect a notification email letting you know whether you've been accepted by the end of December. To access the application, you can visit our website, valleyleadership.org/explore, and make sure to submit your application by the deadline of December 2nd. So that was a lot of information. The key takeaways, want to kind of highlight those things. So let's revisit those main points before we jump into our questions. So we start on March 25th and we end on June 17th. The program includes 6 sessions and 4 overnights. You'll need to take 6 Saturdays, 4 Fridays, and 2 Thursdays off of work. The locations are Yuma, Nogales, Mesa, South Phoenix, Buckeye, and Navajo Nation. And the goal is to broaden perspectives, make connections, and deepen your understanding of Arizona. So some of you may be wondering, who are these leaders that we're going to learn from? So I did want to share with you a little teaser of who you would be learning about during your travels. So I picked one from each of the places that we're going so that you could learn a little bit about them. So we have Ginger Sykes-Torres, who's actually one of our board members and is instrumental in making the program Experience in Navajo Nation happen. She's a consultant on tribal and environmental issues with specialization in climate resilience, environmental sustainability, tribal relations, renewable energy, and public lands management. Then we have Stephanie Bermudez from Nogales. She's the founder of Startup Unidos in Nogales, a platform that has allowed her to transform hundreds of lives through entrepreneurship, education, and binational awareness. She's very active in the Nogales community, has been super important to building the program experience there, connecting us with other leaders and helping us to better understand the culture. Pamela Slim is in downtown Mesa. She's an author, business coach, and co-founder with her husband, Daryl, of the Main Street Learning Lab in Mesa, which is a grassroots community-based think tank for small business economic acceleration. We also have Jackie Meck, who's the former mayor of Buckeye. He's a lifelong resident and has served as the youngest, oldest, and longest serving mayor in the city's history, elected and served from 1972 to 75, and again from 2008 to 2020. He spearheaded efforts to improve water and sewer lines throughout the city and secure long-term water to sustain Buckeye's growth. So between talking with him and the current mayor, it's a very interesting conversation. And then we have Paul Brierly from Yuma. Super knowledgeable man with a background in agriculture, research, leadership, and politics, chosen to serve as the inaugural executive director of the University of Arizona Yuma Center for Excellence for Desert Agriculture, which is like quite the mouthful if that's your title. He's built the center into a highly effective research organization that focuses on usable results. And then we have Richard Ramos. So Dr. Ramos is the Executive Director of Innovation and Learning from the Roosevelt School District. Department provides state-of-the-art technological support and solutions to Roosevelt students, teachers, and staff to promote an innovative educational learning environment and experience. All of the things, very impressive people, also incredibly helpful and proud of the places that they're representing and full of passion and so fun to learn from. And that concludes like the bulk of the information sharing. So that was a lot. I'm going to take a drink of water because I can't talk that much and not get exhausted. And we're going to go ahead and jump into questions. So go ahead and unmute or type in the chat if you have questions.
Yes, Jennifer, do you have the dates already set?
Yeah, the dates are set. Did you catch those, Joycelyn? We can send those to you also. And they're also on the website.
Okay, yes, I haven't checked the websites. Okay, if it's on the website, then I'll check it from there.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks, Jennifer.
No problem. Anyone else?
I don't have any questions. Thank you so much for the presentation. Is the plan to do a cohort in the fall as well for Explore?
We'll just do one a year.
Okay.
So we designed it very purposefully to kind of go follow through with Catalyze. So Catalyze wraps up and then there's a brief amount of time before the Explore starts up. And really traditional leadership programs generally go for, is it like 10 or 11 months, Dave? But we were thinking, okay, well, if you go through Catalyze and then you go through Explore, then you've got like almost the same amount of time as you would if you were going through one of the traditional programs. So it felt like a realistic approach to it.
It's not intended that you do Catalyze and then Explore. All of our programming is whenever it works for you. So don't feel like, Ryan, since you're in Catalyze this fall, you got to then go into Explore in the spring. It's open at any time to any alumni. And it's not that there's no intentional link. We just wanted to have it after. So as Catalyze people do want to have something next to go to, it's right there for them. But as Jen's mentioned, this is a alumni from class 1 42 years ago, all the way up through now. Anyone can attend. So in our first cohort, we had someone, I think, from class 11, maybe. So it spans, and whenever you're ready to do it, because travel is, and time is a big part of this, it'll be here for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Dave.
So I went on all the trips, and Jen and I actually did prep sessions where we went and visited people beforehand. To me, the exciting thing about this program is it's not a tourist program. You don't go there to see things, you will see things, but really it's learning about communities. And I think Arizona is one of the few states where this kind of program really works well because it is so varied. When you hear about water, which is probably our most pressing issue, how people are handling the water crisis, whether you're a farmer in Yuma, a developer in Buckeye, or on the Navajo Nation, it's different. And so to really understand an issue like water, and really any of our issues, child well-being, education shows up a lot different in different places, the workforce and the economy, all of them are different across the state. And so through what Jen has created, this is a program that gets you in front of those people, but also really understanding it from their lens. It's not, hey, we selected what we wanted to hear. They tell us what's most important to them. They tell us what their challenges are. They tell us what their opportunities are, and you go out and see it. So as a native Arizonan, and someone who admittedly always just drove through Yuma on the way to San Diego, I was completely blown away by the depth of economy in Yuma, the billions of dollars of GDP that the region produces for farms and for our food, and in particular the science behind all of it. Yuma is leading the world in how to water crops and do other things. So you really get a good sense of how issues show up across Arizona, but then the really cool things that are happening in other parts of Arizona that you may just never think of. And again, as a native who always went through Yuma but never explored outside of I-8, seeing all those things was amazing. And hello, Danny.
Welcome. Nice to see you. Nice to see both of you. It's been a little while. I was used to seeing you all the time, and now, this is a nice little treat.
Yeah.
We are just talking about all things Explore in preparation for our next cohort. We're in our application period right now, so answering all of the questions, and we thought it would be nice to have a couple of the alumni of the program pop on to share kind of your biggest takeaways and what you think makes the program worth attending. Danny, do you want to share?
Sure. So before the program, I thought that I was very open-minded and that I was open to listening to different people's perspective. And in the program, that was emphasized a lot. And I think through the different experiences that we had and the opportunities to bond together, it really opened my eyes to my own need to reserve my thoughts, hold my thoughts, so that I can really be able to listen to others and be able to integrate what they're saying into my opinions without having my opinions dominate. So I thought that was one of the biggest takeaways that I had across the program.
Thank you for sharing that. That is a big one. We're learning from so many different people. Like there's no way that you can't have some of that come up. Laura, what about you?
I think I really enjoyed the diversity of going around the state, with our Valley Leadership programs previously, regardless of what program you were in throughout the tenure of Valley Leadership, we focused on a very metro-centric Greater Phoenix area. And it was so refreshing to go visit different areas of the state because we saw some of the remote areas and look at the different industries and understand how we can be perceived as those coming from Maricopa County and other areas. And to Danny's point, being able to listen and not just come in with a preconceived notion of what people's challenges are and how, what their needs are and what things that they would use or what challenges they have to make their community a better place, because each community is unique. And the diversity of people that we spoke to, both in industry and viewpoints across the state, was very eye-opening to see how they thought in their community versus what others in other communities think about them and their reactions and how that interplay is within our entire state. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And the second aspect, which I think probably goes with any VL program, is I loved how close we got as a class because it's not large. And you spend so much time traveling together. You really get to see people not just in that classroom learning format, like learning setting. You have other downtime or challenges, and you have to face those challenges together, whether it be you're stranded because your bus doesn't work, or you're traveling and all of a sudden something happens. You're there together and you're dealing with it, and there's impromptu opportunities, and you see things that you don't expect or that aren't on the agenda. I know that I think that probably the most impactful moment for me that really got me emotionally, was in Yuma, when something that was nothing that was supposed to be on the agenda that we just fell into, and a true real life experience of what our communities are going through in Arizona and what other communities are going through within the United States and our neighboring nations.
Yeah, I would say, and I wasn't sure if that was just the intro Jennifer question.
Oh, sorry, did I go too deep?
No, for sure. I actually, as I was driving here, I was thinking about that same incident and thinking about how it was unplanned, and then it may not have had the same impact on me personally if I wouldn't have been with my cohort. I might have interpreted it completely different. And also my mindset in experiencing that would have been very different had I not participated and really emphasized in my mind the idea of withholding that judgment and having the principle of demonstrating integrity and really having integrity towards the purpose of Valley Leadership, which is to really understand the perspectives of the different perspectives within the state, but then also the different areas of the state that we might, like Laura said, not think of regularly. And even that, you know, and I'll speak in I statements, not in we statements, because I might, you know, be interpreting other people's opinions in error. But I think we oftentimes feel that we are the ones that hold the knowledge and that could go and have a savior mentality towards the other areas of the state, maybe that are less populated than us, or might have different types of industry or what have you. And really, it was humbling to see how they their strengths that they are able to develop because they don't have the same maybe resources that we have, and the unity that they can create across their community that we're lacking, perhaps because we have more people and more opportunity to stay away from each other if we have different opinions, right? They have to be together in that same environment, and that causes them to have that synergy of having to come together to solve their problems. And also, I think, like Laura mentioned, we were able to see a lot of their assets and the beauty of their community, things that I would have never expected to see. I was also thinking about Buckeye, for example, and how surprised I was at the industry in Buckeye with the particular, I'm not sure if you want us to give away all the information, but knowing and experiencing all of the technology and growth that's in Buckeye. I never had that experience before. I never would have thought that of Buckeye. And that, again, demonstrates my own bias and my own limited thinking before the program.
Thank you so much. I mean, I think like you both, what you shared was so helpful in sort of demonstrating what the program was intended to be, right? Which is like recognizing that, like, for example, born, raised, lived in Arizona 99% of my life, right? But no clue about these places that I've had the opportunity to meet people and interview people and learn about people and build these programs. And the shift it provides, like the opportunity for a shift that it provides, because it's like, whoa, there's so much more, there's so many like people living their lives in all these other parts of our state with such unique experiences and challenges and opportunities and ways in which these things are showing up for them that is a little bit different from the Valley, a lot of it different from the Valley in a lot of ways. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
Only that if you're interested, then apply, because I thought it was a great experience, and I'm really glad that I was able to do it and be part of the inaugural class. And I hope it's a program that continues for a very long time with Valley leadership, because it's so different from what other programs we've done in the past. And then also just looking at the future, that just really that expansive breadth across the state. And you could probably create years upon years of these, and none of them would ever be the same, because you could look at so many different things across our state. So I don't know, are we doing different ones next year? Should I apply again?
I will let you know when we start expanding to other cities. We are adding South Phoenix this year, but
that will be good.
Yeah,
maybe I can become as an alumni.
That's fabulous. That's fabulous to hear.
Yeah, I know.
I spend all my day in South Phoenix. You know, the other thing I would say, like Laura mentioned, just to add to her enthusiasm, is if you're hesitating, do it. And I know when I wanted to sign up, I was a little hesitant about the commitment of taking those days away from my family, especially overnight trips, especially with all the responsibilities we have with our families as well, right? And even taking the Friday off from work. But I would say that it was absolutely worth it. It helped me to grow so much as a professional, as a person. And then I've been able to share those experiences with so many other people and encourage them to also explore our state, right? Our state is a beautiful place. It's a wonderful place to be in. Together we can make it better. And through these programs, we get to interact with leaders that we might not come across with in the industries that we serve in, or in the sectors that we serve in. So that's another benefit, is that even if you went to the same locations, the mix of the membership will make the experience different.
Mhm.
Yes, apply. You'll love
And then
it.
if you do apply and get in, don't be afraid to be candid. Be respectful and candid, because some of our best conversations came out of the candor that we had with our conversations while still respecting each other, which was really nice.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
All right, thanks everyone for being here. That wraps up our information session for Explore. For more information, you can hop onto the website and find out about our FAQs and apply directly there. And we hope to see your applications come through. Bye.